Hello and welcome to the Little Masterpieces. I'm Muhammad Talib, lecturer English. In this series, I'm presenting the summary of the world masterpieces. Today, I'll be presenting the summary of the world famous novel Frankenstein. It's a Gothic novel and it was written by Mary Shelley. First of all, I would like to discuss with you about the author, Mary Shelley. About the author. The full name of the author is Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. She was born on August 30th, 1797 in London. The name of her father is William Godwin and he is a famous writer. The name of her husband is Percy Bysshe Shelley and he is a great romantic poet. She belongs to the Romantic Age and she is famous as a novelist and a writer of Gothic fiction. Now I would like to discuss with you the chief works written by Mary Shelley. The most important Gothic novel written by Mary Shelley is Frankenstein and it is her masterpiece. It was published in 1818. In this novel, she deals with the life of Victor Frankenstein, who is not happy with the ordinary kind of knowledge. He has been working on creating a monster. With the help of his research and work, he has been able to create a monster which goes out of his control and starts killing people. So it is in brief the story of the novel Frankenstein. In the next slide, we'll be discussing about the novel Frankenstein in detail. The next important novel written by Mary Shelley is Walpurga. It's a historical novel which deals with the 14th century despot Castilian. It was published in 1823. The next important novel written by Mary Shelley is The Fortune of Perkin Warbeck. It was published in 1813. And in this novel, Mary Shelley recounts the adventures of Richard of York, who is forced to take the name of Perkin Warbeck to escape the enemy Henry VII and to conquer the English throne. It is set at the end of the War of Roses. The next important novel written by Mary Shelley is Lorelei. It was published in 1835. It deals with the fortune of the wife and daughter of the titled character Lord Lorelei, who is killed in a duel. The next important novel written by Mary Shelley is Faulkner, and it was published in 1837. It deals with a girl who is 6 years old. She is orphan and her name is Elizabeth Reffy. She prevents Faulkner from committing suicide, and Faulkner adopts her and brings her up to be a model of virtue. The next important novel written by Mary Shelley is Last Man. This novel was published in 1826, and in this novel she deals with Europe in the 21st century, which is ravaged by mysterious pandemic illness, and this pandemic illness sweeps across the entire globe, resulting in the near extinction of humanity. Mary Shelley died February the 1st, 1851. Now I would like to discuss with you about the novel Frankenstein. The full title of the novel is Frankenstein and the full name of the author is Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. She is the wife of Percy Bysshe Shelley, a great romantic poet. This novel was written between 1816 and 1817. It was published in 1818. The age to which this Gothic novel belongs is Romantic Age. It's a Gothic fiction. As you know well, Gothic fiction is a novel in which there is murder, there is horror, in which there is mystery, suspense, there are ghosts. So this is all about Gothic novel. This tradition was started by Horace Walpole. The protagonist of this novel is Victor Frankenstein. He is a student. The antagonist of this novel is a monster which is created by Frankenstein. And this monster goes out of the control of Victor and starts killing people. He is the monster. The setting of time is 18th century and the setting of place. Several places have been shown: England, Scotland, Geneva, the Swiss of Alps and Anglo Estate. These places have been shown. Now I would like to discuss with you about the character of this novel. Victor Frankenstein is the protagonist and he is the most important character of this novel. He is not happy with the ordinary kind of knowledge. That is why He has started to work on creating a monster. He works at several universities, and at last he is able to create a monster which goes out of his control and start killing people. Monster. Monster is the next important character. It is created by Victor Frankenstein, but the monster feels lonely. That is why he starts killing people. He starts killing the family members of Frankenstein also, just because he is humiliated by the society, just because he is not able to integrate with the human society, just because of his ugliness. Alphonse of Frankenstein is the next important character. He is the father of Frankenstein. And Elizabeth Lebenze is the girl whom Frankenstein marries. Henry Clever is the boyfriend of Frankenstein. Justine Morris is the girl whom the family of Victor adopts, and she is accused of the murder of William. Robert Walton is the person who is listening to the story of Frankenstein. He records the story of Frankenstein in his letter, and these letters he sends to his sister. So this is all about the character. Now I would like to discuss the summary of this novel, Frankenstein. Robert Bolton is the captain of the ship, and one day he finds Victor Frankenstein running after the monster. Victor Frankenstein gets ill, and he tells his story to Robert Walton. Robert Walton listens to the story of Victor Frankenstein, and this story he sends to his sister. Victor Frankenstein describes his early life in Geneva. He describes that he was happy among his family members, and he studies at the University of Aglo State. There, he has been working to find a solution how to create a monster. He has been researching how to create a monster, and at last, after years of research, after years of hard work, he has been able to create a monster. But the monster is very much ugly, and monster is very much big. Victor becomes very much afraid at the first sight of the monster. When he looks at the monster, Victor becomes sick. He is not feeling well, and he wants to go back to his home for recuperation. After some time, when Victor is ill, he gets the news from his father through a letter that his brother William has been murdered. So Victor Frankenstein wants to go to his home to see his brother, to meet his family member, and for the purpose of recuperation also. When Victor Frankenstein goes to the woods where William was hanged, he catches sight of the monster and becomes convinced that his brother was murdered by the monster. And Justine Morris, the girl which had been adopted by the family of Victor, has been accused for the murder of William, the brother of Victor Frankenstein. And Justine Morris is executed for the murder of William, though she says again and again that she is innocent and she doesn't know anything about the murder. The murder was committed by the monster. Monster murdered William, but Justine Morris has been accused and executed for the murder of William. So Victor Frankenstein is very much sad and angry, and he is repentant over his creation. Monster confesses his crime and requests Victor to create his mate. Monster confesses his guilt that he murdered William, and he also tells the reason to Victor Frankenstein that he murdered William just because he was feeling lonely, he was feeling isolated. He wanted to integrate with the human society, but human society did not give him respect, did not, the human society did not integrate with him. The human society was afraid of his ugliness. That is why he was feeling lonely and he was feeling isolated. Just to hurt Victor Frankenstein, he murdered William. The ghost, the monster, gives this reason. And he persuades, next, the ghost, the monster persuades Victor Frankenstein to create his mate so that he may not feel lonely. And Victor is persuaded, he is ready to create female monster. Victor is persuaded to create female monster, but when he thinks about the consequences that two monsters will create havoc, will kill a large number of people, Victor stops work in the middle and he puts the half created monster into the sea, and the monster is watching all these things. He gets very much angry and takes a vow that he will revenge upon Victor on his wedding night. Victor, after that, when Victor puts the half created monster into the sea, Victor's friend is murdered and Victor is arrested for that. But after some time, he is acquitted of the murder of his friend. And Victor returns to Geneva and marries Elizabeth. There, when he goes to Geneva and marries Elizabeth, at the same time, the monster comes and kills Victor's wife. And he also kills Victor's wife, and the father dies of the shock. Now Victor takes a vow to revenge upon the monster. He runs after the monster, but he is not able to find the monster. He is not able to grab the monster, and while he is chasing, he gets ill and dies there. The body of Victor Frankenstein lies in the room where Robert Wharton lives. After some time, the monster comes and looks at the dead body of Victor Frankenstein. He weeps over the dead body that Victor Frankenstein was the only person to whom he used to talk. Now to whom will he talk? And he says that he will end up his life. The monster goes northward to die. This is the summary of the novel Victor Frankenstein. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.